Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is your girl, Camille Prosperity, out of Savannah, Georgia, and this video is being recorded very, very late. What is that, my phone? But listen, I did a broadcast recently, and I was administering a little bit of tough love, and so I felt it only fair that I come on and show you guys my heart, because I never ever want anybody to think that I'm sitting up high looking down low on anybody, what they're going through. A lot of times I'm not mad. I'm passionate about what I'm saying because I have been where you are, not because I think I'm too good to be where you are. Never ever that. So I felt it's very, very late in the evening. This is not planned, so I may be a little bit all over the place. Well, of course, you guys are probably accustomed to that a little bit, right? So this is going to be a story time where I tell you about the role that having bad credit played in me losing my first house, all right? So, many of you do not know me as a married woman. Hey, what's going on, Coach Lakeisha? Many of you are pretty new to me. You either met me through my consumer protection or my credit videos. But let me tell you guys why I go so hard in the paint about this stuff, okay? And it is because of my experience and how it led me to where I found myself at age, how late 30s, master's degree, a child, and divorce, moving back home literally to live with my mother and share a room with my son. All right, so rewind, okay? And I'm going to give you, I don't want to make this super lengthy, but I do want to give you guys a lot of a backstory, because I hate it how in social media nowadays we see so much judgment. Like, people will say things like, y'all don't be vetting people. Y'all just be out here getting married to anybody and did it. Y'all, let me tell you something about life. Life be lifing. You can know somebody for 2 weeks, marry them, and live happily ever after. You can know somebody all your life and find out you don't know them at all. So in my particular case, I met my ex-husband when I was 15 years old, and he had been a family friend for years. My little sister thought of him as a big brother. Our families were very much intertwined. So when I got married to him, I was at age 25. I felt very secure. That was my best friend. I felt very secure in that relationship. And he, at that time, was like a great guy. I'll never take that away from him. Like, I'm not one of those people that just because we fall out, now everything about you is bad and always has been bad. So no, every time, like, I hate it when I see people saying, well, you had a baby with him. Sometimes people do flip the script, y'all. Sometimes they do. And it's not because they were hiding. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I do think that there are times and there are things and like instances that change people. But let's stay on top. Let me stay on topic with the credit situation. So my ex-husband was not an American. He was not familiar with the concept of credit, because truth be told, credit is still a new concept here in the United States, y'all. Okay, that's why you should never be mad at your parents for not teaching you about it, because you got to realize it was brand new to them. All right. But when you marry someone who is not American and they have no clue about this whole credit situation, it's really left up to you. So here I am, guys. We got married after we bought a house. So we were living in a studio apartment. We decided we wanted to get a house because the interest rates were low. Here I am. I'm paying attention to the markets. Now, I'm no dummy, y'all. I'm paying attention to the markets. The interest rates are low, but I'm like, hold up. I need to learn about this stuff. So for all of my people who say they want to buy a house, I'm telling you right now, you need to plan well in advance to complete that transaction. Here is how I planned. Y'all, I got on Amazon. I bought so many books. I literally studied oh my gosh, real estate, math. I was stuttering things. What is that beeping? Sorry, y'all. I was studying so many different things just to prepare myself for the transaction, because I had nobody to talk to. to ask about the situation. I couldn't go to him because he didn't know. So I bought books on Amazon. Like literally, I was taking the real estate license exam. And I'm telling y'all, I'm so glad I did. And this is a warning to you. I'm telling y'all right now. If you do not know what you are doing, you can very easily be taken advantage of in that transaction. Y'all, this was during the time, we bought that house during the time when ARMs were really big. And as I was studying about it, I said, I do not want an ARM, which is an adjustable rate mortgage. Excuse me, I don't want to talk over anyone's head. And by the way, this is not legal advice. This is all strictly entertainment. This is not legal advice at all. So I said, I want a fixed rate mortgage because I heard how ARMs could literally double your payment, right? And I heard a lot of horror stories surrounding that. Now, here's the deal. The people that we were working at the time, I remember during the transaction, them proposing an ARM to us and basically trying to push us into it. I was adamant because he was deferring to me like, what's going on? And so I was adamant, no, that is not what we are going to do. Y'all, if you ever been through a home closing process, you know it is arduous. There's a lot of things that you have to do. We had to pay off some stuff in order to get the debt to income low enough so that the what's it called? The underwriter, the lender. I might not be using the right terms, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It's as of the taping of this recording, it's after midnight. Okay, so forgive me, and I've had a very long day. But there was a lot that went on that I stood firm on. No, we are not budging on these things. The house that we were buying was a Rio, which is a real estate owned property. So it was a good deal. Okay. And I remember even the agent was like, well, I don't think y'all should see this property. And I was like, yes, I think we should. When I saw it was a Rio, I don't think she thought that this 24-year-old girl knew what that meant. I knew what that meant. And I was like, yeah, let's go see it. We go see the house. 2 stories, 4-bedroom house, about 2,500 square feet. I'm like, yeah, this is a mini mansion. What? And so it's nice. And so I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so as we're going through this transaction, they were trying to push us to do certain things. And they would say things like, you don't want to give up on your dream house, do you? And I had to let them know, yes, we will. Because that's how they can sometimes get you. They want to close for their own reasons, right? Because they're going to get a cut. But don't ever let somebody push you into doing something that you're uncomfortable with or you know you cannot do. So here's the long story short. Because I was studying, and I'm saying this to anybody who buys a house with someone before you get married. It happens, okay? I was young, but I was not dumb. So my soon-to-be husband was on the mortgage. But baby, I was on the deed. Bloop. So, and if you do not know what that means, basically I had my bases covered. All right? Because we were not technically married, when that transaction occurred. And you got a lot of people out here buying houses with people because I love him, I love her. And if something happened and they don't love you and the the thrill is gone, if you're not on that paperwork properly, then you're homeless. Okay? So I wasn't on the mortgage, but I was on the deed. So anyway, we get married. Cool. We have a baby. Awesome. Then 11 years into the marriage. Okay. Oh, let me back up. I'm sorry. When we got married, life was lifing, right? I lost my job. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we going to pay this mortgage? I called them up because I know about this paperwork. I'm able to get a refi and we're able to get that mortgage dropped. I'm like, yes. So I lost my job again, another few years because life be lifing. I called them again and actually get a second refi because it wasn't just me. This was like a national situation that was going on. So a lot of banks were doing a lot of refis. So y'all, I lied to y'all not. When we, before we bought the house, we were living in a 1-bedroom studio where you had to walk through our bedroom to get to the only bathroom. Do you know that by the time I had that house refinanced so many times because of different situations, we were literally basically paying the same amount for a 4-bedroom, 2-story house as we were for a studio apartment? So it's just like, man, I'm not gonna lie, home ownership is definitely totally different than renting. There are a lot of benefits There's a lot of responsibility, but there are a lot of benefits. It's definitely not something that I think you should jump into if you do not know what is going on. You're a great storyteller. I be tuned in. Thank you. I be trying. Some people be knocking my story. You're rambling. You're all over the place. But I don't like write notes because then I would never cut a video. And then once I cut it, I try to tell all the details. But I'm telling you guys, home ownership is great, but it's something that you do not want to rush into. You want to do your homework, because let me tell you this too. I was so adamant and so firm, and I didn't know everything about the transaction, but I had studied those books and I knew enough of the lingo. Do you know that when we went to go close on the house, my real estate agent was so mad that she couldn't get one over us? Do you know she didn't even show up? Do you know she did not even show up to the closing? We were calling her like, hey, we're almost to the office, to the title office. Are you there? And she was like, I'm on my way. And she never showed up. She never picked up the phone after that. Do you know? Now, you know, you're supposed to get your keys, right? Y'all saying, oh, yes, y'all, I'm telling you, I've lived things. So you're supposed to get your keys. She was supposed to give us the keys. Do you know how I got in my house? I got in the house. That's jacked up. Isn't it jacked up? But she was pissed because I didn't budge on something that she wanted me to do. And so in order to basically to make the transaction happen, she had to take a cut in commission. So she was mad. But you tried to flip the script on me right before we go to the closing table, and you thought I was just going to pull money out my butt. No, I didn't have the money. So if we're going to make this happen, where is the money coming from? Oh, I guess it's coming from your check then, because I already told you what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do. That was her fault. I have never seen that lady. That was what? I'm getting heated about. That was what, 2003, something like that. I'm getting heated about it all over again because it was jacked up. But do y'all know how I got in my house? And this is where you'll always listen to your gut. I'm going to tell y'all this because it's super important. I got into my house because always demand an inspection for your house too. So we demanded an inspection, and then we had a final walkthrough before closing. Do y'all know that when I went with that inspector to look at that house, because go with the inspector too. Ask them questions. Don't be afraid. I was right behind him, toe to toe. I know he was like, this little girl getting on my nerves, but he was cordial. And I was like, okay, what about this? What about that? All right. And I had my notes and I wrote. Guess what? When I was going through that house with him before the closing, I was opening doors. I was closing doors. I was looking at everything. When I got to that back door, I left it unlocked. When I got to the back door, I thought to leave it unlocked and I didn't initially. And then we went out, and then I told him, I said, you know what? I made up a lie. I said, I left something in the house. And then he opened up the house for me to go back in and get whatever I lied about. Sorry, Lord. And then I went, and that's when I left the back door unlocked. Yep. I left the back door unlocked. And then something just told me. And then I left with him. And we left out the front door, and he locked the front door. So the next day, or whenever it was, whatever the following days was, when we went to the closing and my real estate agent never showed up, my boyfriend, soon to be fiance, was looking at me and saying, how are we going to get into the house? I said, go to the house. I said, just go to the house. When we got there, I said, stay right here. I went to the back of that house. I went inside and I opened up the front door. He was like, what the? I said, don't worry. I said, I left it unlocked when I was here with the inspector. And then we just changed the locks. We just changed the locks. Never seen her again. Never heard from again. Don't know what happened to her, but she served a purpose. It's all good. Always listen to your gut, okay? I thought I put this phone on Do Not Disturb. Sorry, Instagram. Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, I did. So I don't know why I'm sorry. So always listen to your gut. Now going back. So life was lifing. We get into the house. And let me tell you this too. Now, we didn't have the down payment for the house. So a family member loaned us the down payment for the house. We did pay her back. My family member. All this is important, okay? My family loaned us the down payment for the house. We paid her back. Every time that I lost my job and it caused a hardship on the home, I called and did all of the paperwork, all of the talking to get the house refinanced. That house was refinanced, so the payment was so low. And guys, I'm telling you, if you're ever in a situation where you're in a financial bind, do not bury your head in the sand and act like it is going away. You pick up that phone, you call those people, you articulate yourself well, you take your notes and you explain the situation. You look up stuff to know ahead of time what can be done, what government assistance is available, so that when you're talking to them, they know that you know what you're talking about. And I'm telling you right now, things will work out, my friend. By the time I was done with that, Jamie, that house note was, like I said, it was damn near the 4-bedroom, 2-story, 25 square foot house. What the mortgage payment was the same as the dang on, what you call it thing? Studio apartment that we used to live in. Okay? Now, we get into the good stuff. 11 years into marriage, my husband says he's not happy and he wants a divorce. Wait, what? What do you mean? You loved my house? Thank you. That's right, Coach Lakeisha. I saw that house. I loved that house too. That's where, I got dressed for my wedding in that house, brought my son home in that house. A lot happened in that house. A lot of great, great memories. Okay? Great neighborhood. It was a great first buy. Now, 11 years into the marriage, my husband says he wants a divorce. Things get real bad real quick. Fast forward. We do not technically get divorced until 13 years of marriage. Living like roommates, a lot going on. I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't afford the house by myself. He couldn't afford the house by himself. We were just kind of in a limbo state. I was hoping he changed his mind. He was going out there cheating, doing what he wanted to, and still coming home and doing what he wanted to. So he had the best of both worlds, and I was downloading the Pray for My Husband app. Here's where it gets grimy. We go to divorce court. Okay, so now what do? You have to divide assets. How do you divide a house? Well, you can't just have it sitting in both people's names. It has to go to one person's name. Wait a minute. So who wants the house? Well, of course I do, because I know for a fact I cannot get I can't get this much space and this much rent. I can't get this much space for this little of a payment. So then they're like, okay, good. Well, you have to put the house in your name. Okay. What does that require? That requires two things. Number one, it requires credit, because you have to refinance the house in your name only. Number two, it requires money, because you have to buy the other person out. It's a house. You have to split it. So if there's any equity in the house, you have to buy the other person out. So I really, 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 really thought I wanted that house at that time, because I couldn't find another place to move. I didn't want to move back with my mom because of my pride. But the bottom line was my credit by that time was so shot. Now, forget the fact that I didn't have the cash, but my credit was so, and I forgot to tell you too. Even with the house refinanced and the payment so low, y'all, and this is why I want to tell this story. I don't ever want y'all to think that because I'm going to use my words carefully. I've overcome some stuff, but I don't ever want you to think when I'm fussing about some of the things that y'all are doing that I don't remember, because I do. That's why I get so at some of the things that y'all are doing and some of the positions that y'all are putting yourselves in, and how slow some of y'all are moving to take action on changing your situation. I get so upset because y'all don't even understand how much I understand. It is so upsetting to me because I can see what is coming, and it's like you're blind, but I can see it because I lived it. Crap be happening real fast. You don't have time. You really honestly don't have time. So there was another thing too. The same family member that lent me the money for the down payment of the house during this whole divorce debacle, the house was about to go into foreclosure, even with the payment that low. That's a whole nother, it's a whole nother story. I have had my account negative. I had my ex-husband cut off my account during this time. There was all types of stuff going on. And that same family member had to save the house from foreclosure. Okay? So my family member, I'm telling you all of this for the reason to convey to you that I was really vested in this house. I had studied for this house. I had done all the refinances. I had fought for this house in closing. I had my family member give the down payment. I had my family member save it from foreclosure. So to stand before that judge in DeKalb County Courthouse with a room full of strangers and have all my business on Front Street like that and have to say, damn, as badly as I want this house, I can't afford to buy him out, and I don't even have the credit to refinance it, so I guess he can have the damn house. After all that work that I did, but you know what? It's all good, because God knows better than I do. I wouldn't have wanted that house. I wasn't supposed to have that house. I am, believe it or not, I can be emotional at times. I would not have wanted to even bring another man in that house. Now, he's different. I'm sure there was another woman in there next week. As soon as he got the keys back. And that's fine, because I know somebody else is probably watching us like, it's just a house or whatever. It's, it don't. But me, I'm happy now that I had a fresh start. Fresh energy. And I am actually happy that he got the house, because now when my son goes to visit him, he's going back to a home that he recognizes. So it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. But here's what now, did he have to buy me out? Don't get me started on that. The answer is technically yes. But some of y'all are going to understand why I said don't get me started on that. But I'm telling you all this. And where did I go? So I moved from Atlanta to Savannah, and I moved in with my mom. And my son and I shared a room. And day and night, I studied and studied and studied and studied about credit, because I was so mad that two things kept me from getting that house that I fought so hard for so many years from: credit and money. And I'm telling you guys, if you think credit is your problem, it's not. It's a combination of credit and your money. Many of you have gotten the credit score that you desire, but it's kind of like, wait, right? Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. You lose this 50 pounds. Now what? You got to keep the 50 pounds off. So once you lose the weight, you have to maintain it, right? It's the same thing with credit. Once you achieve that score, you have to maintain it. And the minute life happens, the minute you need a new set of tires, the minute your child gets sick, the minute your mom gets hit by an 18-wheeler like mine was last year, the whole dynamic of your life can change in the blink of an eye, baby. And even if you have a 800, I don't care. If you don't get your money up, if you don't find some kind of way, keep them expenses low, keep that money high, so that you can maintain that balance, so that when life hits you, now you're not like, oh my gosh, everything was perfect until I had this late payment. Everything was perfect until and I remember coming back home saying, okay, I need to declare bankruptcy. I'm glad I did, because the little bit of that I had is little to me now. But at that time, it was like, whoa, I just need to have, no, man. There were so many plans. There were so many things that I was thinking that I needed to do that I didn't need to do. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is that I'm so happy I didn't throw, when the best way to get over a man is to get under another one. I don't know who came up with that dumb mess, but I'm telling you right now, I'm so happy I didn't clog my brain after that experience with another relationship to forget about him. I'm going to be with this one, because it would not have given me time to think and process and get my together. So when I talk to you and I seem like I'm mad at you, I'm not mad at you. I am hurting for you, because I can see your future and I know how things can go. Like, your life can change overnight. A hoe came up with that, Jack. The best way to get over a man is to get underneath one. Yeah, that maybe that works for some people. That would never work for me. I'm just not that type of person. But I am the type of person that can quickly disassociate and who can lose herself. I would much rather read a book than deal with what I'm going through. So it works out for me. I drowned myself in studying credit stuff. And then I said, okay, in order for me to fix my credit, I'm going to need some money. So then I bought some courses, got with some mentorships, never did a credit repair agency, learned about credit. That led me down to the path of consumer protection stuff. Now my consumer protection, hardcore ride or die, say, you don't need credit, no way, you can just do your own thing. Let me tell you guys something. Everybody has to do what is right for them. Me as a single parent, I'm not trying to be out here like living a Dave Ramsey life where I don't need no credit. No, I'm going the path of least resistance. So here is what I have determined will work for myself and my child. I'm going to make, my plan was get good credit, maintain it so that I can walk in there anywhere, knowing that when I go to get something, I'm going to get it. I'm going to play their game. I'm going to let them violate me in the contract because I know that there's a high probability that they're going to do it. And then I'm going to use the knowledge that I have about the consumer protection laws to enforce my rights to get out of that contract that they violated me in because it's invalid anyway. That's why backup plans are vital. Yeah, but guess what though? Guess what? I mean, how much time do you have to have? Sometimes you don't have enough time to make a backup plan, but sometimes you do. And what I'm seeing is a lot of people who right now, they could be getting together their backup plan, but they're so busy looking for a quick fix, a quick answer, a quick this, a quick that. Do you know how many people were racing to get a house in 2020 because interest rates were super duper low? But baby, like I said, I planned over a year in advance before I bought my house. And that was at the young age of 24. But my whole deal is, even if the interest rates are low, if you can't afford the house, what are we doing? When I talk to people right now and they're like, oh, I'm going to get a house. And they're saying like right now we're in March and they're like, oh, by the end of the year. And I'm like, how much you got stashed away? How much have you been doing? Have you been listening to MG, the mortgage guy? Are you tapped into Kiana Watson? What are you doing? They're like, who, what? And I'm like, you ain't get no house by the end of this year. And guess what? Even if you do, the goal is not to get the house. The goal is to keep it. Even if you get it, can you keep it? You don't want to be evicted from the house. You don't want to be kicked out of the house before you even open up all of the housewarming presents. Right? You liking this, Jay? I'm hoping I'm helping because I'm telling you guys. And I'm not here to be like, whoa, doom and gloom. This is not a story of don't trust your spouse. Although if that's what you want to take from it, do you. But I'm just saying, your life can literally change overnight. It takes like one layoff. It takes one, BBL girl to tempt your spouse, and then they be like, I'm out. I'm not happy no more. I'm helping you, Coach Lakeisha, really? I'm telling you guys. And so here's the deal. Here's how I feel about it. Fool me once, shame on you. But fool me twice, shame on me. That's why I'm not dating. That's why I'm not open to even having a smoothie. Yes, I just bought a house and I'm still keeping in mind what the hell would I do if something happens? I can't afford this. And I would say too, there's so much more that I could talk about. I bought MG, the mortgage guy's home buyer's blueprint, just to support him. Anybody who's buying a house, I say to follow MG, the mortgage guy. He's a mortgage broker out of New York. So I'm telling you right now, if you got sensitive ears, the brother's speech is spicy. So be warned, but he'd be dropping jewels and he gives so much information so that you go to that closing table very knowledgeable. He talks to you about how to vet your broker, because oftentimes what people just do is they let their real estate agent choose. Who do you recommend? Or they get a referral from somebody else who had, guess what? Our real estate agent was a referral from a friend who had a great transaction with her, but we didn't vet her because we were just strictly going on his word. With the house purchase, guys, you don't want to do that. You want to do your own due diligence. So I did mess up on that, but it was an older trusted friend. Never buy your first house for you to live in for life. Get a 2 or 3 family so you can have them, then cover your home mortgage. But see, listen, Amun, though, you got to understand, I was in Atlanta. Where are you, Moon? Because we in the South, you got to understand that whole duplex situation, it doesn't happen like it does up north. No, most houses in the South are going to be your condos, townhomes, single family residential homes. Are there a few that fall in that area? Yeah, but it's very few and far between. It's not like that. Okay? And yeah, it's not like that. But anyway, guys, this is the reason why credit is so important to me. And like I said, you're going to need to get your money up too. A lot of y'all don't have a credit problem. You got an income problem. So, that's something we need to explore also. All right. But I just wanted to come and share that with you. In Kentucky, they are popular, but I have not seen duplexes since coming south. Yeah. And there are some people that are trying to work on that in the Atlanta area, but it's still not the most common. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm high and mighty or too good or I've forgotten or none of that stuff. I have not. And I don't be mad. I just be really, really antsy about, some of y'all situations. Like my heart really does hurt for some of the stuff that I read, that I see, that I hear about. And I'm just wondering how are you going to get, because when you're in those situations, that's when you start, doing really desperate stuff. It was because I was in that situation that I was driving Uber and Lyft. I literally would have guys in my car. I'm driving them at night and they're saying things that I'm just like, get me out of this situation. My mom would be on the phone with me on mute, just listening to basically make sure I didn't get them knocked upside the head, to make sure that, the ride in. My mom would stay on the phone with me all night long just to make sure that I was safe. I would take screenshots of who the passenger was and send it to her before I picked them up and stuff. And then, it was just it was a really, really crazy time. Hope you had that strap. I do have a license to carry. I did carry. But you also have to realize too, if you got two guys in the back of you, right? Thank God for protection. So, and some people will just say stuff to try you. I remember one time a guy got in my car and he was just like, "You not scared being a female picking up a single guy at 11 o'clock at night? Anything could go down." And I was just like, what kind of question is that? As soon as you get him, like, the only thing I asked him is, "You not scared being a single guy getting into a car and you don't know what I got in here?" That's the only thing I could think to say. And we rode for the rest of the ride in silence. Some of the situations I've been in, I'm just like, wow, thank you that I made it out of that. But I was trying to get up the money to pay for the house. That's how you end up in payday loans. That's how you end up, like I said, having your credit go even lower. That's how you end up just doing all types of stuff, y'all. And the crazy thing is, let's say you lose the house. There are literally people staying in weekly motels paying what, $300 to $400 a month. You do the math. $300 to $400 a week. You do the math. That's what, $1,200 to $1,600 a month. That's an apartment. But they can't get an apartment. Why? Because of the credit. So you have a great mom, true support. Absolutely. My mom is the best. No matter what, she has held me down. But some of y'all don't have any parents. Y'all have told me that. I don't know what I would have done without my mom. I have no idea. No idea. Because you hope if you divorce that you can at least stay friends with the person. Especially when you have all that history. And when you can't, oh my God, that is the worst. When your best friend becomes your worst enemy, that is the worst. So yes, I have a great mom. I owe her everything. And right now, I'm not only fighting for myself and my son, I'm fighting for my mom. Because, yeah, that woman is unfreaking believable. I have watched how credit and money have played out in her life, being a single mom of 3 kids. So yeah, I didn't have anybody to teach me this stuff. And you probably don't either. But here's the deal. We got this handy dandy thing called the Googler, right? And right now you're looking at me probably on a cell phone. I'm shooting this on my cell phone. So y'all, all I want us to do is stop complaining and put in the time. Because trust me, if you get in those situations like I found myself in, then you're going to be trying to hustle and scramble at the last minute when you could. The time is going to pass anyway. Please, 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 please learn everything you can about this stuff to do for self. Once you learn to do for self, that's the best thing you can do for yourself. And then you go and you help somebody else, okay? I'm never fussing at you. Let me stop lying. Yes, I am fussing at you. But it's not because I can't relate to you. It's not because I don't think I could be in your position. I have been in your position. I've been in worse in your position. So, and that's why, and that's how I know you can get out of it. Because if I got out of it, you can get out of it too. All right? So I'm going to end this video. I'm going to come back and do another one because my little one is having a, you research everything. It's worth it. Miles, it is so worth it. Can it be confusing? Yes. Can it be annoying, irritating? Yes. Yes. Can it be frustrating? Yes. But in the end, it is so worth it. I think if I hadn't done what I did, investing in all of those courses, following all these rabbit holes, going to all these mentorships, going to these conferences, talking to people like yourself, here we are. It's 1:16 in the morning. I still have more. I'm going to cut some more videos. I'm going to listen to some more courses. And I'm probably going to fall asleep with this dang old headset in my ear. I have 2 of these headsets. You know why? Because when one battery dies, I switch out the other one. And I keep them on a rotation. And that might sound boring to some people. But you know what? The peace of mind that I have knowing that I will not be in that situation again. Nobody can control me. Not, a man, not a judge, not a company. No, that peace of mind is priceless. And so the things that I do, it's not for money. It is for peace of mind. I want peace of mind above everything else. Material stuff is nice, but ultimately I want peace of mind. And I want that for you too, okay? All right, so if you found value in this, like, share, subscribe, do all those things. I just wanted to give you some background story because many of you are very, very new to me. So yeah, this is very, very personal for me, and I want it to become personal for you too. All right.